Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your language teaching and learning channel. My name is Santiago, and today I have the honor of sharing this video with two very good teachers and colleagues and friends of mine, and Silvia and Gaby. So let's have them introduce themselves, and then we'll start the conversation, okay? Sylvia, please introduce yourself.
Okay, good morning, the channel. For me, it's a pleasure to stay here. My name is Silvia Astudillo. I am 34 years old. I work at Santo Domingo Savio High School. Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very much. Gaby, please.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Gaby DeCoux. I am 27 years old, and as Silvia, I'm working in Santo Domingo Savio High School, and I work with kids.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's the reason I asked you to have an interview, a conversation here in the channel, is because, and I think I mentioned it to you sometime, I really admire people who work with kids, with young learners, children and stuff. They are, in my opinion, very challenging. I tried it a couple of times, but it was very difficult for me. So, and it has also been very hard to find good primary school teachers to come and share their experience with us. So, first of all, tell me, how has the pandemic affected your classes and your teaching?
Okay, really affected or well that kids because they need to stay together with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And say, teacher, I need to give a hug my friend, something like that. That is the most important for them right now.
Mm-hmm. Gaby, similar?
It was challenging because I work with kids of 3 and 4 and 5, and when it started, I didn't know what to do. I was scared. It says, how I'm going to teach them by a computer, how I can do my funny faces, my movements, things like that, through a computer. And at the beginning, I only had 10 minutes with them, and I showed them some pictures and a song. And I said, it's not going to work. But while the time was passing, I said, oh, I can do that. So I have my personal space. So here I can dance. And they look at me and they dance with me. So it was not difficult. But at the beginning, I was very scary with that. And as
Mhm.
Sylvie said, they always said, teacher, I miss you. And they were always hugging me and also sometimes sharing me their food or kissing me because they are kids, so that is natural for them. And they say, I miss you, teacher. I want to be in school. But now we know that that is our reality. And they know that, and they send me, now they know how to send me hearts through the screen. So they send me
Right.
hearts, and they know that say me, I love you is te quiero, and things like that. So they say, I miss you, teacher. And when we're going to see each other, so we say, someday we're going to see, don't worry. But it was scary at the beginning, but now everything is okay.
Mhm. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I think it has been challenging for everybody, and especially for you. Again, working with kids, and as Sylvie mentioned, right, and you mentioned that too. You know that it's also a cultural aspect, right? Because in our culture, we're used to, whenever we meet, well before when we used to meet, we would shake hands and hug each other and a kiss in the cheek and so on and so on. Kids are kids and they're always playing together and stuff. So this has been very challenging for them and obviously for the teachers too, right? Um, but as you mentioned also, this is the new reality, right? We have to adjust. Um, Tell me, before the pandemic, what did you used to do with your kids in school? How did you used to work with them? Sylvie?
Yeah, okay. Okay, first of all, the work with kids is a challenge
Mhm.
because it's so hard that you need to know a lot because the kids are always the question, wait, teacher is this, wait, teacher is that, always. But before the pandemic, that was funny, yeah, because when we stay in a grade, first of all, we play something related to the topic. For example, if we check about numbers, we play with numbers, with something like that, depend the topic, related the topic. But that was funny, really funny. But after after the pandemic, that was hard because the parents stayed together.
Okay, that's another problem we need to talk about, right? What about you, Gaby? How were your classes before the pandemic?
Before the pandemic, I always was, well, right now it's hardly the same for me because I used to teach them, for example, a song, and I used to dance with them and they dance with me.
Mhm.
And now I can do that. I discovered how to do that and now they can do that. Before that, it was easiest for me also. And I had the board there and I used to draw my pictures there and they understood what I was drawing. Always, I did a circle, said, oh, teacher, that is a ball, because they understood how I was drawing and they know what I was drawing. Even if I draw a line, they said, that is an umbrella, for example, because they know how I draw. But now I have to find some pictures and things like that, but it's not too different. We used to change the place of the in the class because we have the English room and the normal classes for them, the room for them in Spanish. So sometimes we change the class and they love that. Nowadays we can't do that. It's the same place all the time. That is the
Right.
difference. But it was the difference. They used to enjoy more the video time. Now they can watch videos every time, and they don't enjoy that a lot. But we have different situations there. So sometimes we used to work in the yard. We go there. We went to the yard, and they were lying there coloring and things like that. Now we can't do that.
Mhm.
So those are the different things now. But
Mhm.
it was
How are
difficult, but
they
now we
enjoying?
can.
Okay, now we need to be realistic. Okay, as we mentioned, this is going to be the new reality for a while. At least I hope so, because I know that some of the authorities are saying, okay, we need to go back to school and stuff like that. But it's going to be very difficult, especially for young learners, right? Because maybe here, even with adults, you say, okay, you need to keep distance and you need to wear your masks and everything else. Even adults don't do that. And little kids, there's no way you will be able to control them. So I think it'll be more dangerous. So I hope the authorities take that into account and don't risk, the kids and teachers' health and parents and everything else, right? But so let's consider this is going to be our new reality now. What would you consider is the most challenging thing to teach young learners right now under the present circumstances? Sylvie?
Yeah, now the most challenging is that they understand without physical contact.
Mhm.
Yeah, for example, when we were at the school, we go to outside and I don't know, they look at all the environment, um, but now we can do that. But
Mhm.
however, they enjoy the class. We are watching videos. We show the I don't know the pictures, something like that. They enjoy it. They learn.
Mhm. Okay, Gabi, what do you think? What do you consider is the most challenging thing of teaching children the way we're working now?
Um, well, in my case, it's not too difficult because I just teach them vocabulary because they can't read, they can't write yet.
Mhm.
But I think the most challenging thing is to teach them how to read and write through a computer for me. Because kids for 5 years, they are learning that in Spanish. So I think it's a challenging thing for them because I just teach them vocabulary and songs and for me it was better the using the Zoom meetings and classes because now they can speak not better but they have fluency because they introduce themselves that give more personal information and I didn't do that at school so that was the best thing for me right now because they can speak not produce better the language that is one thing but for me, the most challenging thing in Spanish is to teach them to read and write at 5 years and using a computer. That is a challenging thing right now, I think.
Okay. Is it possible to also teach them to read and write in English at the same time?
In my experience, I don't think that because they are involved in Spanish and all the time they're using Spanish, and when they are in English classes, they try to use English. So they say, they mix the words. Sometimes they say, teacher, me olvidé mi pencil. They mix the languages, but
English.
I don't know how to teach them how to read and write in English. That is true. I don't know how to do that. But when they know how to read or they are starting reading, it is easiest for me because they say one. I said, no, the pronunciation is one. And there's a little bit difficult because they say, but it says one, teacher. I said, but the pronunciation is one, in English is different. But when they can read, it is easy because I had experience with another student that I have, and I started with him when he was 3, and now he's 8, and now he speaks English better than me.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I didn't teach him grammar rules and things like that, but when he learned to read in Spanish and to write in Spanish, it was easiest for me to teach him to read and write in English because now he
Interesting.
reads fluently. So he reads fluently, and also now he's learning to write. So he says, "Oh, teacher, writing is boring, and in English, why? I do that in Spanish all the time." But
I'm like,
now, when he wants to say me something as a secret because her mother is close to him, he sent me in the chat in English. If he
Oh,
sent
that's
me wrong, I correct say this is the correct writing part, and he says, okay, teacher, I understand. But now he doesn't want to read and write in English because he says, teacher, I am very good in English and I don't want to do that. That is boring. Just speak with me. But there's a difference. I think it's better to teach them to read and write first in Spanish because they are involved in that. And after, it's easiest to teach them to read and write in English, in my experience.
very interesting. Okay. All right. Well, in your case, Gaby, you said you work
like
with
to
very
read.
young learners. Sylvie, go ahead.
Sorry, they don't like to read. They like to play. They like to speak. For that, I agree with Gaby. Said that teacher. Can we speak about, I don't know, the toys, for example, or pets? They show pets, and then my pet is white. My pet is a dog. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Today you have dictation. No, teacher. No, they don't like.
Okay.
It's for
What
the
age?
age.
That was my question. What ages do you work with, Sylvie?
7 years.
7 years
7 years.
old. Okay. And Gaby, how old were your students again?
Right.
My students in the school, they are 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5, you said, right? Okay. So look, we have 3, 4, 5, and 7 years also. Wow. And like I said, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you because I really, really admire primary school teachers working with those ages. It's, I mean, it's really incredible for me to see, teachers, just look at the backgrounds that you have, you have beautiful things and
At
look
the
at,
beginning, I crying. I was crying.
oh, really? Why?
Yeah, because I was accustomed to give classes that pre-adolescents.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. Mhm.
But when I went to the Santo Domingo Savio, the Carmita told me that okay, you're in charge of the 7th grades. But after, do you remember, Gaby? After said, no, you second grade. I said, oh my God, almost I quit. That was a really challenge for me.
Okay. But apparently you
But
always.
now,
Mhm.
but now it's okay. It's wonderful.
Now I would ask you a question, Sylvie. If you had the opportunity to change now and teach the pre-adolescents, would you change or you would just stay where you are now?
Um, Depend. I really like to work now with kids, but for my level and another things, also I work with adults. Both of them.
You work
Now
with
I like.
adults too. Mhm. Okay. But it's completely different, right? You have the opposite. You're working with little kids and you're working with
Because with the adults, you say that,
older
okay,
kids.
this is grammar, do exercise, period. But
Mhm.
kids, teacher, no entendí. Teacher, hago mayúscula, minúscula. That,
Mhm.
that is,
Okay.
that is the
Then-
point. That is
mhm.
so different.
Definitely. Gaby, do you have any experience teaching older kids or adults?
I work with teenagers also in the afternoon. So
Mhm.
it is a difficult, a different world
Mhm.
because in the morning or with kids, you have to be kind, patient, treat them with love and things like that. So it says, okay, mi amor, find the page. Okay, so one more, be careful, color carefully. And all the time you have to be speaking. All the time. You have to be
Right.
careful for them and looking at them, even in the computer. So, okay, let me see if you have the paper. That is not the correct color and things like that. But
Mhm.
when I work with teenagers, it is a different this different it's completely different because it's okay, so today we're going to work on that page, we're going to read this, okay, we read, now is your turn, work. And I can be in silence sometimes, only looking at them that they are working, and after that it's okay, we're going to check the answers and that's all.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
that is
completely
completely
different, right?
yes, completely different. And when I started working with teenagers, it was difficult because I always treat my kid students as, okay, mi amor, be quiet, no, don't make noise. Okay, we're going to continue working, things like that. And in the afternoon, I was saying, okay, mi amor, and I said, oh, sorry, it's because I work in the morning with kids. And they said, okay, teacher, don't worry. At the beginning, it was difficult because, mi amor, mi vida, things like that, because I treat my students in the morning like that. So it was a completely change. And I had to keep in my mind, so they are teenagers. You don't have to say those words because they're going to get confused and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Imagine that Gaby said that adult, mi amor.
Yeah, imagine, yeah. If she were my teacher and she says, "Vea, mi amor, don't do this," and I go, "Woohoo!" I'll be so.
Oh, my teacher loved me.
Yes, wow, excellent. Okay, very good. Now, Gabby, you mentioned something before, right? That, and I think, Sylvia, I think you agree, right? It's very difficult to teach grammar to kids, right? Because obviously this is very abstract, right? So in the case of Gabby, you said, okay, you do a lot of songs and vocabulary, and Silvia, you mentioned that you have a lot of fun, right? So what do you do in order to make the students understand in the language that they are learning? What are some of the things that you do, Sylvie, with the kids?
Yeah, okay. And you told us the grammar is in context, no? For example, the song, I don't know, the um, what are you doing? That is the present progressive, right?
Mhm.
They sing, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? I am playing, I am sleeping. That they learned present progressive
Mhm.
uh, without no grammar. The
Mhm.
grammar include. Uh,
Okay. Mhm.
the same case in other grammar rules.
Mhm. I guess it's the same with you, right, Gabby?
I don't teach them anything of grammar. I just focus them on vocabulary from animals, colors, school supplies, family members, things like that.
Mhm.
I don't teach them grammar,
Mhm.
but they understand. Sometimes so for example, it says my mother's name is Silvia, for example.
Mhm.
So they know that they have to say that, but they don't know why. Sometimes they say, okay, so my name is mother is Silvia, but you
Mhm.
understand them.
True.
So I correct them, say my mother's name is, or my favorite color, it says my red is color favorito. They mix English and Spanish. But
Right.
I think that the purpose in that age, from 3 or 4, is to communicate, to
Mhm.
produce a language. And I correct them. But if they have the same mistake again, every day I'm correcting them and correcting them. And at the end, they're going to catch what is the correct pronunciation or how is the structure, but they don't know that it is grammar.
Right. Mhm. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, very good. Yeah, we'll need to. We'll probably have another meeting some other time with teachers of other ages, like more adults and stuff like that. Because as you know, my idea is, yeah, no matter what age, don't teach them grammar, right? As Illy mentioned, through the context and stuff. But anyway, about the new way of teaching through Zoom or whatever in the pandemic, you obviously had to adjust. And Gaby, you gave an example. You mentioned that, before when you had face-to-face classes, you would take them out into the patio, for example, and they would be on the ground painting. Is it not possible to do that now too? Obviously, you can't take them out, but you can maybe tell the parents to do that?
Depend parents. Yeah, for example, supposed to, I need to check about the clothes. Supposed to, okay, go to your bedroom and bring, I don't know, the t-shirt. Okay. That a day, but this, the Camilita said, no teacher, my mom no me deja.
She doesn't let her. Oh,
That
okay.
depend. We
Oh,
check the clothes. And other kids, yes, teacher, I have the trouser, I have the scarf, I have. Another student, no, because the parents don't allow.
do you have the same experience, Gaby?
Not actually the same because I think when they are 3 or 4, their parents always want the best for their kids.
Okay.
And when I said, okay, so today we're going to play Simon Says, and say Simon Says, show me a pair of scissors. So there's a scissors. Teacher, I don't have. Mommy, I need scissors. And the mothers are running around the house trying to look for the scissors and things like that. I'll say, so, okay, so tomorrow we're going to record a video here in the class and I need a space for them. We're going to dance. I said, okay, teacher, don't worry. And the next day I see them in a different place and it's a better place than my house. I think they have beautiful sofas and things like that. And on Christmas, it was very incredible because I don't have a Christmas tree in my house, but they have beautiful and wonderful Christmas trees and things like that. So the parents, in my case, always trying to find the best for the kids. So there are sometimes some students say, my mom said that I can't use colors because I'm going to paint my clothes and she's going to be angry with me. And to say, don't worry, I'm going to talk with your mom. But teacher, are you sure with that? He says, yes, don't worry. I say, okay, I'm going to use colors and things like that. But I think in that age, parents always want the best for them.
Yeah, I guess it depends also, yeah, like you said, the age, right? And yeah, I can see some parents maybe being a little reluctant to do some of the activities that you're planning to do. But I think this is another thing that you have had to adjust, right? Before you worked directly with the kids, and yeah, you met with the parents every once in a while, whatever. But now, and in our cases here in the country, I think the parents are required to be with the kid, right? So you are actually not working only with the kids anymore, you're also working with the parents, right? So that's an additional challenge that we have, right?
I'm teaching parents and students.
Well, that's what I've heard.
Grandmas and grandpas too. And they said, teacher, I don't know how to use the computer. Can you help me? I didn't understand what you said. But my baby said that he has to color this. I said, yes, he's correct. Don't worry. But they are always asking me questions. It is correct, teacher. This is the correct color. And now they know what is the color, what are some shapes, and they know English as the students. So they learn together, I think.
Okay, very good. So I think this is one of the positive things of working this way, the pandemic and everything else, right? Parents or grandparents, whatever, have to be there. And, I've spoken to many teachers and they have the same opinion. They say the parents are actually learning more than the kids now. They're used to English and stuff. So I
They
guess
need
maybe
to
that is one of the rewards that we get as teachers, right? And tell me, Sylvie, what do you consider rewarding from working with kids? What are the rewards that you get?
the rewarding working kids, the best rewarding is love. Sincerely, they cure. Before the pandemic, I had a lot of problems, but when I went to the high school and the kids hugged me and kissed me, and I forget everything. That is the wonderful reward for me, and they learn so fast.
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is something good that we need to take advantage of, right? Okay.
Yes, it's advantage. For example, today you teach about colors. Yeah, okay, this is a color, this another color. They learn so fast.
And well, very good, because this is why it's important to talk to people like you who are working with kids, because yes, kids learn so fast, and we need to take advantage of that and exploit them. Unfortunately, what you probably noticed, not all the teachers work like that sometimes, and then we have students who come to the higher levels who have they kind of hate learning a new language or anything, and it's because the negative experiences that they've had in the beginning, right? But anyway, it is rewarding. What about you, Gaby? What's rewarding for you teaching with working with kids?
I think as Sylvie said, love. And I think that is a word because uh, as Sylvie said and mentioned, when sometimes I'm not feeling well, I have some problems at home. So out of this door, I have some problems. I have familiar problems and things like that. And when I come here, even in the computer, it says, okay, so hello everybody, and says, hello teacher, how are you? And things like, and only to hear their voices make me happy. So
Mhm.
it changed my day. So sometimes I am sad. I don't want to do anything and say, okay, so I have classes today and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Or I know what I have to do, but I don't want. But when I turn on the computer and they started coming to the classes, oh, hello, how are you? And I have to show them a happy face.
Mhm.
So I am happy in that moment. I feel complete in that moment. So I think love is the best thing. So they are always making me happy. And I think that they know that I am not feeling good. So I say, teacher, I want to tell you something. My mother said me this, and I didn't do that. And they tell me stories about their houses and what happened with them and with their parents and brothers or sisters or
Mhm.
even with their pets, and they make me laugh. And
Okay.
that's all. And also it happens in with teenagers.
Mhm.
So they are different words, but they also say me sometimes they know me. I think they say, look at my eyes, as teacher, you're not good today, and they start telling me jokes and things like that. So
Mhm.
I think love is the word.
Okay. Well, that's
They are so sweet.
very good. I think this is the rewarding part for all teachers who really uh, give themselves into the profession. Teach with passion, with love, and remember I used to post in the chats. I became a teacher because of the money and the fame. We know that that's not true, right? I mean, we're teachers. We normally don't get paid a lot of money, or we're not going to become rich in this profession. But the thing is, we have passion for it, and we make a good influence in the students, right? So I think it's kind of like a therapy too, because like you said, maybe we're feeling sad or angry, whatever. But the moment we get into the class, it's like, whoa, okay, forget everything, leave everything behind, and that's it, right? Okay, well, we're almost done here. Sylvie, is there anything that you would like to add? Maybe some advice from talking to you guys. I mean, I think you have convinced me, and now I want to see if I can teach children. But
Okay, I could
what advice would you give to people, or what last comments would you say, Sylvia?
consider that if you want to work with kids, the most important is love, patience, and encourage. Because if you don't have love, the things that you need to do, but it's not successfully, but
Mhm.
it's not try to. It's no sense. But if you have love, kids, everything is okay.
Mhm.
You know that all all the world, all the situation, and the way we can we find problems. But if you need patience and love, everything has solution.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
consider that.
thank you very much, Sylvia. Comments, Gabby?
Okay, so a good advice I think is to be kind with them. As Sylvie said, treat them with love and patience. I think patience is the most important thing here because if you're not patient, you're not going to treat them kindly or with love because they're always say, teacher, teacher, I want to go to the bathroom. Teacher, teacher, this. Teacher, teacher, this. And if you don't have patience, you're not going to stay there with them and you can't teach them. So patient, I think, is the most important word here when you're teaching with kids. And more than when you have kids with 3 years and they arrive to the school and they cry and cry and cry at the beginning. The first 2 months they are crying all the time, and you have to be patient with them and treat them kindly and with love. I think it's is the other part. So patient, love, and be kind with them, I think are the words that you need to teach and work with kids.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Like I said, you convinced me. I'm going to give it a shot now again. So, well, anyway, I would like you to thank you very much for taking your time off your busy schedule for this interview that hopefully will motivate other teachers to also work with kids. And as I said, I really admire people like you who work with kids and they make a really good influence in them. It's very important. So, once again, thank you very much for having joined me in the conversation and sharing your thoughts with me and the people in the channel. Okay. Thank you very much and have a good weekend. Okay.
Thank you, Sandy.
Goodbye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.